Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I would like to present about my group assignment in topic farm management according to the standard of good animal husbandry practice in growth out. Good animal husbandry (GAHP) practices are becoming important throughout the world. They tend to cover animal cruelty, animal welfare, biosecurity issues, husbandry practices that affect the quality of animal product, environmental issues, and even nutritional issues. Asian GAHP for layers and broilers is a standard for good animal husbandry practices for broiler and layer production in the Asian region. The standards in Asian GAHP for layers and broilers are mainly aimed at preventing or minimizing occurring food safety incidents. What is GAHP? It is a set of guidelines and minimum requirements for the commercial or backyard rearing or farming of animals for human consumption. The goal of the code is to ensure that the establishment's farming practices meet consumers' expectations, that the final products are safe and fit for human consumption, while also ensuring the health, safety, and comfort of farm workers and animals, all without causing environmental damage. The objectives are increased production of quality poultry, assurance that the product meets food safety and standards, consumer confidence in poultry products, avoid harmful germs, regulate farm produce. Next, definition of growth out system in poultry. The broiler farmer buys the day-old hybrid broiler chicks and grows them to the market age, 6 to 7 weeks, on his premises, arranging for the necessary infrastructure facilities. System in general use. Two popular systems of rearing broilers are the multiple batch system, the all-in all-out system. Layers are chickens reared for eggs. At the hatchery itself, day-old layer type chicks are sexed mostly by vent sexing, and only female chicks are sold to farmers for layer farming. The day-old male chicks are discarded.
There are 4 farm management for those standard good animal husbandry practice for grow-out animal focusedly on poultry. First, in farm component. The farm layout should have suitable areas for feed storage, waste management, and proper workers area. It should have a design that incorporates ventilation and ease of cleaning. It should have buildings and perimeter fences constructed to prevent contact between livestock and strays and also wild animals, including potential disease carrier. Electrical conduits should be properly installed and covered to prevent possible electrocution. The layout and emergency procedure shall be placed in the most conspicuous place. On housing, the animal should be housed in a suitable for the intended use of rearing and housing chicken with sufficient shelter and ventilation to protect chickens. Have a logical layout for the animal husbandry activities with application of biosecurity protocols and sanitation. In farm location, the farm must be within the approved land use plan of the local government and should be compliant with the national regulation. It must have a supply of adequate electrical power, portable water, and good access route. It should not be near bodies of water and wetlands that are frequented by migratory waterfowl. The locations are not prone to flooding. The locations are not near slaughterhouse and other animal facilities. Next, in good animal husbandry practice in feed and water. Feed supply. The owner of chicken should acquire feed from suppliers who follow recognized good manufacturing and hygiene practice and meet quality standards set by the Country Regulation Act or government directive. The feed chain should be managed in such a way as to protect feed from contamination and minimize deterioration. The feed should be used in accordance with level instruction and kept in designated area under good ventilation. Water quality and treatment of water. The potable water should be used. The owner must ensure that only water of known and acceptable biological and mineralogical quality is used for watering stock. The non-potable water must be treated to comply with standards. The water sanitizing system is checked regularly. The water treatment system are checked daily and the appropriate parameters are recorded. The pathogen levels must be checked regularly. Thirdly, in hygiene and sanitation. General farm hygiene. Can only be approved chemicals by competent authorities in the country must be used for cleaning and sanitation. The farm should have appropriate equipment and tools for effective and functional hygiene and sanitation operation. The farm shall have cleaning and disinfection procedure in place. Waste management. Little solid and liquid waste should be managed and disposed according to the country's regulation. The farm operation should maintain and display clear instruction on procedure for disposal of farm solid waste and farm chemical waste. Dead chicken should be buried properly, incinerated, or disposed in a manner that complies with country regulation. Lastly, in good animal husbandry practice is chicken health management. Introduction of new stock. Acquire chickens only from source with known good health status, certified by a qualified veterinarian and competent authority. Keep newly arrived chickens separate from resident stock for an appropriate period to prevent possible disease transmission. Each batch of chickens purchased or hatched must have batch identification for traceability purpose. Surveillance and control of diseases. The vaccination program should be adopted against the disease as acquired by competent authorities and it should be in written form. The farm should have a written deworming program if deworming is required. The health status of chickens should be monitored and recorded regularly. Separate diseased chickens from healthy chickens. Identify isolation area or pen for suspected diseased birds must be provided. The use of antibiotics or medicated feeds for disease control must be in accordance with the instruction by veterinarians following country's regulation. Keep all treated chickens on the farm and ensure that these animals and their products are not used for human consumption until the drug withdrawal period is complete and certified fit for human consumption by veterinarians. Recommendation of poultry management. For feed and water supply, the drinkers must be emptied, washed and loaded with fresh water in their daily routine. Water must be supplied 2 times a day and the feed should be supplied 4 times a day. Each batch must be attended by the same person. Feeding and watering should be established simultaneously to minimize stress every day. For feed and water equipment, in the hot summer month, the space allocation for drinking water should be increased by 20%. Drinkers and feeders should not be distributed uniformly throughout the floor, so that the birds do not walk to a feeder more than 150 cm or to a drinker 300 cm. The height of feeder and drinker should be adjusted to ensure that the border is equal to the backside of the birds to avoid wastage and spilling. In farm area, the land must be elevated to prevent water stagnation or flooding. The farm should be located in an area with a good facility for comfortable rearing of broiler with the least difficulty in arranging inputs and outputs. It preferably be located as near to the marketing city as possible. In housing, the barns should be placed with fresh airflow through the broader barn first, then follow with the grower and broiler barns. It might protect diseases from spreading from broilers to broader houses. Relative position of 50 to 100 feet should be maintained between the chicks and grower barns, and a minimum distance of 100 meters should be maintained between the growers and broiler barns. In vaccination, do not vaccinate without a farm area problem. The virus is spread through blood-sticking bites or injury and bruise by birds while fighting. It's spread from birds to birds. If a heavy infestation occurs in area, owner of small birds can envisage vaccination with fowlpox vaccine. The bird should be re-vaccinated after 8 weeks or older to ensure lasting immunity in problem area in which fowlpox vaccination by baby chicks is needed. For hygiene, it is recommended that temperature, humidity, and ventilation inside the barn as well as the outside temperature be monitored on a daily basis. For growing broilers, the temperature range is 18 to 22 degrees Celsius. The suggestion temperature is when ambient temperature range between 18 to 24 degrees Celsius can satisfy birds. In biosecurity, sufficient downtime of 14 days at the very least with suitable hygienic practice between birds placement significantly reduce disease transmission between birds and allow time to prepare for the next bird. The government and the advisory body must take biosecurity enforcement initiative. Every farm should at least have a food bath before entering the farm. Organization of training course on the promotion of biosecurity principle for poultry handler, training and capacity building of biosecurity measure. The farm should not be permitted for visitors. In conclusion, the good animal husbandry practice in poultry animals help to reduce physical, biological, and chemical hazard in agricultural production that pose risk for health. Food is guaranteed not to harm the consumer when it is prepared or consumed by its own original intention. Middle class population grows and urbanization accelerates. The cost of eggs and meat with high protein content, targeted per capita consumption, and growth rate of both layer and broiler chickens rises. As the result, the poultry industry will play an important role in the near future. Therefore, more research on good animal husbandry practice for poultry should be conducted.